So I'd just like to say something first about Josh. So as the vice president of my fraternity, I had to deal with Josh a lot on the business side of things. But the more time I spent in the kitchen, the bigger relationship that we built together. And sometimes we spend an hour or 2 hours just talking about everything from politics to economics, medicine, and a lot about his daughter. And I was always really busy with things, and I would come back to the house and miss a meal, and Josh would be there, and he'd be like, "Hey man, like whatever you want, I'll cook it for you." And he'd always just cook it up like that. And just the nicest guy, and I'm just gonna miss having this conversation with him and seeing him every day. And it's just really hard to believe that he's not here anymore. But yeah, this one's for you, Josh.
David played it and pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do ya? But it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor falls, and the major lifts. The baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Josh's favorite thing to cook was pizza, and being from New York, it was kind of the classic New Yorkish style story, I guess, like if that's even proper. And his kind of dream was to start up a little pizza truck that he could move around in Corvallis with. His pizza was like his thing, his go-to signature dish, pretty much, as he learned from. Do you remember the restaurant in New York that he learned the? What was it? Yeah. And so, yeah, it's kind of the classic Joshua meal. He did some weird stuff with leftovers too, like he would do the breakfast pizza, or put. He got creative with stuff, like he was messing with people, it seemed like.
It's a broken hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. There was a time when you let me know what's really going on below, but now you never show it to me, do ya? Remember when I moved in you, the holy doors were moving too, and every breath we drew the hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Maybe there's a God above, but all I've ever learned from love was how to show somebody who outdrew ya. It's not a cry that you hear at night, it's not somebody who saved the night to call it. It's a broken hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
this has just been overwhelmingly wonderful. I just wish he could have felt the love that is here, because there was so much love for him.
I guess I'll go ahead and start with the words for Josh. So you may have noticed this back room was kind of taken over with these young college kids. That's us from the Sigma Chi fraternity. Josh cooked for us for 7 years, and we all had the honor to see him and talk to him every single day. Whether it's just kind of, bullshitting around about his food or, all the, shirts or whatever it was. We all had the chance to talk to him every single day. And there was hundreds of people who were in and out of that house that got the chance to know him, be friends with him. I mean, there's guys that graduated like 3-4 years ago that have contacted me or shown up today, and I think that really speaks to what a great person he was. Some of the stuff that he told me was just classic Josh type of stuff. I remember that there's 3 things that he was really passionate about. First of all, his shirts and his artwork. That was just kind of his piece, and he just did that to get away. That's what he enjoyed doing. I personally had the honor of working with him on his last order of shirts, and I couldn't ask for anything more. Because that just made him happy. I'm so thankful that I was able to work with him on that. Secondly, he was passionate about his food, in particular his knives. If anyone touched his knives, he did not want to be around. And third, his daughter. And I always remember that he would, when someone would touch his knives or get in the kitchen and kind of start messing with his stuff, he'd say, "Look, man, there's 2 things I love in this world: my knives, my daughter." And yeah, I mean, I don't know, I think that just sums it up right there. And if you don't mind, I'd like to say some words from a ceremony that we have within our organization when someone passes away. In this sacred place, the reverend moment, God is dominant, that life and its true friendships are indestructible. Because of the spirit in man, death cannot have the victory. That which we call death is but the gateway to the life immortal. For the life of the spirit does not die. Love you, Josh.
With a scream of an eagle on the fly, I will walk alone by the black muddy river. Sing me a song of my own. I will walk alone.
Hi, I'm Cole Hendrickson. I had the fortune of knowing Joshua as an acquaintance and as a coworker. He really showed me a lot about different perspectives of life and understanding culture, and which is stuff I find extremely interesting. And I like to say that he was on the other side of the moon, and I got to see some of that, and really he had this really radical perspective of government and all that stuff, and being this fisheries guy and this liberal person. It was really cool to be able to go hand in hand and really kind of pick each other's brains and talk about just whatever. And so in the spring of last year, I worked with Josh in the kitchen of Sigma Chi fraternity, and So every day I was in there with him pretty much, and if not, I was on the phone with him or getting groceries with him. And spending that much time every day was really great because he would ask me questions, I'd ask him questions, we would share music. We were always rocking out to something different every day, where it was classic rock or something super psychedelic instrumental, and just poking jokes at each other. And so I have a bunch of stories, and they're all back in there somewhere. But one of the funniest things is once he got this new iPhone. The new iPhones have a camera on the front of the phone. And one day I said, "Hey man, why do you have this piece of tape over the camera on the front?" He said, "I don't want the man watching me while I do my work." And I was also I'm in the fraternity as well, and I was in charge of ordering all the food. And so it was kind of interesting because we were our own bosses. So I was in charge of telling him what to make, and he was in charge of telling me how to make it. He'd say, "You got it, boss," and I'd say it right back to him. And so it was a pretty playful relationship. And especially like with today and all these people that have been here and have spoken, and at this meeting, it really just warms my heart to know that he really did have this outreaching relationship with so many people. And like, for example, when we would go to Winco and have to pick up a bunch of groceries for the house because our order didn't come, he would just know everyone. Everyone's like, "Oh, hey Josh," like just anyone shopping or working there or bagging his groceries, and it was just so unreal to just follow him around anywhere, really. And he would just straight up say, "Oh, I know that person and this person." He was a big character in all of Corvallis. For Indigo especially, I don't know if you remember me, but I spent a lot of time, freshman, sophomore, whatever years, in the kitchen just hanging out and talking and with Josh. And I remember when you got your new bicycle, and you guys would always ride in and you'd just hang out in the kitchen with us all day and just help your dad cook, and it was incredible to see how confident you were to be around a bunch of screaming old guys, you know, that are grungy looking and didn't shower or whatnot. So and that kitchen's just disgusting, so good for you. Yeah, my sincerest of love to the whole family, and just thank you, Josh, for such an incredible aspect in my life, and then this reflection you've really had on me and influence in my life. So thanks.
Will you share? Take the time to make a friend. Share love until the end of your life and mine. Share the light and let it shine through your soul and through your eyes. Give a friend a nice surprise. Show your kindness with your love. Always thank the stars above. Hey, tell me, do you wanna live? We have so much to give. Don't let it slip away.
First memories of Josh, probably like many of us, started here when I worked here with about 1 billion other people that are in this room right now, and if we all could try, I bet we could fit behind there, but probably not. Josh would always come in and get the same drink in his to-go cup, and it was the kind where the lid went down into the cup, and being the pain in the ass that I liked to be, he never asked for it, but I'd always fill it like that high with whipped cream. And he had no choice but to get his beard and his mustache all full of whipped cream to get down to the coffee. There's just no way around it. And so every day he'd come in and I'd be like, whipped cream? And he's like, no! And that was how mine and Josh's relationship started. And it just grew over the years, and seeing all his different projects and endeavors, and watching Indigo grow up from like 3 or 4, all the way she's gonna be 12. It's amazing to think how long it's been. But I know like all of us feel very privileged to have known Josh.
I love you more than words can tell. Listen to the